Listen.
Please pay close attention to this important announcement.
So Mercy's a new thriller that plays off of being a courtroom drama, just without the courtroom and sometimes the drama. It's about a cop who's on trial for the murder of his wife, but it's through this new system called Mercy that he actually co-signed. So now he's being judged by an AI with the craziest cheekbones.
I really injured my ankle on one of the first days, in fact. It was good that I got to sit for 2 weeks because my ankle was pretty jacked up for like those 2 weeks that I was sitting in the chair.
And what's funny is, it turns out they had her standing while this man sat on a booster chair. It also comes from the team that's done a lot of the Screen Life movies like Searching and Unfriended, and this company kind of has like a monopoly on all of them because that includes the worst ones like War of the Worlds.
It's you! It's you!
Personally, it's a goofy thriller that you can wait till streaming for, but I will say that a lot of people have complained about this being like a big propaganda piece, and guys, it's just a stupid movie. Like I don't think this is trying to say anything at all because it can't. Like even the actors are the opposite of what they're playing in the film.
I haven't been interested in AI.
I love ChatGPT.
But before we get into full spoilers, a quick shout out to this video sponsor, TesterUp, the app that lets you rack up rewards just for being on apps. See, a lot of services online build up programs and referrals to get you points, and what TesterUp does is gather up all of the best ones in one location. For gamers, you can earn a little extra by testing out their entire catalog that offers different tiers depending on the mobile game. It helps you find the right ones, so the only thing you have to put in is time. There's different tiers to compete with. And for multitaskers, you even have a variety of other apps and tasks that can turn your free time into some extra green. Especially since, well, streaming services are making shows so bad, they kind of expect you to be on your phone so you don't see how bad it is. Payouts are also super simple with a low threshold of $20 and easy withdrawals through PayPal within the day, so that way you can cover your coffee just by playing games. So if you're interested, join over the 22 million users already earning on the app by clicking the link down below and earning with TesterUp. Now, full spoilers. Let me explain.
I must remind you that the clock is ticking.
So the movie takes place in the future of 2029 after things have gotten so bad that LA went
into a crime epidemic.
So after showing you a montage of crime that looks like it's AI generated, weird zooms and all, they break down the red zones that the city's been split into and how it's almost purge-worthy until they introduce this new AI called Maddox that's judge, jury, and executioner.
Suspects are presumed guilty unless proven innocent.
That's where we see Chris playing Chris, who's a homicide detective who's up for homicide of his wife. Now, I've heard the guilty percentage is 40, but this man starts off with a 97.5.
Oh my God!
Culminating today.
Jesus Christ!
And you know it's serious because he took the Lord's name in vain. So now we got a 90-minute countdown, which is the perfect movie length. And in that time, he needs to prove he's innocent by getting his guilty percentage at least down to a 92. So it's pretty much the worst virtual escape room where he has to solve the case or else the chair kills him.
Your trial will now commence.
No.
Fortunately, he has access to everything, including Google, where he searches up his wife because he's feeling lucky.
LAPD officer Chris Raven has been arrested today for the murder of his wife.
And then he hits refresh. But of course, they wouldn't name his wife Nicole, because when dealing with an AI, if you outwit, you must acquit.
If you are innocent, prove it to me.
He gets to go through the Ring camera footage of what happened that day, which is still today, and they show how aggressive he was because even he nodded to him pretty much looking guilty, especially because he was at the crime scene for 20 minutes before leaving.
That's not me.
Maddox explains how his wife Nicole was brutally stabbed to the point that it hit her vertebrae and pierced her liver. Like it was even their daughter who found her dead after a sleepover. So he's literally being canceled for everything that he's posted or has been posted about him because it all makes him look guilty.
You're lying.
I do not lie, nor do the facts.
Judge Maddox tells Chris that they found him drunk at a bar, but he denies being at a bar.
No, I don't go to bars. It's not possible.
So she pulls up footage of him at the bar. That's where the cops try to arrest him, and he starts tussling to the point that he even gets tased and takes it like he's Star-Lord. He just won't quit. This is why he was late for court, since he blew a .16 and was knocked out for 5 hours before they could start. Like, this man couldn't even type. He looked like Uber's being ordered off 6th Street.
I don't remember the bar. I don't remember.
Yeah, put the guilt at 100. We even see a cameo from Parks and Rec legend Pratt, who's still on the news, breaking down how the Mercy program came to be. Pretty much case number 1 came from him and his partner Jackie, who put the first suspect on trial named David Webb, and after he got the death penalty by AI, Chris pretty much became the poster child for the Mercy system. And now Chris is case number 19 for the Mercy system.
One day he's sending people to the Mercy Court. The next day, he's there.
He tries to send a message request to his daughter who's with the in-laws, but he's still so buzzed he has to have ChatGPT write it for him, all while Maddox is glaring at him in the background. She's being more judgy than Clippy. Next, he has to call his AA sponsor, Rob, just a little too late, but he's still trying to encourage him.
Anything, I don't remember what happened.
Maddox then rewinds through all of his memories, starting with his wedding day, which was like shot in a body cam for some reason. Next, they jump a year later to show his daughter's birth, where he's wearing the palm tree t-shirt, which is what his wife will die in. Everything pretty much seems to be happy until he has to deal with his partner's death.
That's her personal shit.
Well, that's the AI trial you fought for, man. Since the AI has access to everything, she starts piecing together all the clips where they were contemplating divorce. Like, they would argue while he was chopping veggies, but there were no veggies. They even go through the daughter's video calls and her second Insta that shows them fighting all the time. And that's when he finally gets to speak with her as she's questioning him, since he pushed for the mercy program so bad that his words were, "You don't go there unless you're guilty." And then he wonders why his father-in-law doesn't like him.
You make your decisions about the people in this courtroom before they're even in this chair.
He really called it out for being Minority Report. Like, man really said Pratt lives matter.
Oh, Jesus Christ, okay.
That's another commandment. Judge Maddox then starts dissing him by making AI art where she Google pixels away his little girl's parents.
Otherwise, Britt will lose both of her parents today.
Yeah, Clippy would never. Kristen asked to call his partner Jack, who's in the middle of a crime scene, which just so happens to be his crime scene.
Chris, you're in a hell of a mess.
Turns out that this man got arrested so fast that he still had the blood on his shirt. And while I was questioning how his partner can be on the case and she's so close, he then gets on his own case, virtually.
All right, Jack, come on. Let's walk it.
I also love how the camera's on her. Instead of switching to the back camera, she flips her front-facing one. Like, how are we dealing with all this tech?
It's a classic crime of passion, Chris.
Chris goes through the case as if he's in detective mode, leading him to Nicole's phone, which is on 7G, and they find out that she has a secret second number that Chris also knew about. And after finding it inside her car, Jack is able to hack into the phone just through Bluetooth. And that's all Judge Maddox needs to make a full digital copy of the burner.
The password has been bypassed.
In other words, if you got a digital footprint, they're gonna find you. While you're watching this video, trust me, they know what windows you got on in the background. And what they haven't accounted for is, how many toxicas are gonna go on trial just to get into their partner's phone.
Fair enough.
They end up using her sneaky phone to find her sneaky link who works out in Hollywood, so Jack jetpacks over to his coordinates, and they really did lift her according to the behind the scenes, which looks like she was having a lot of fun. They did do a lot of practicals on set, and I will give the movie this, that seeing it in 3D did add a lot of depth, so you get to see all the pop-up screens and how he blends into it. So, while it's still rotten, it's also rotten in real deep.
Holding at 96.7%.
Are you kidding me?
They find out that it's a sous chef named Patrick who books it the moment he hears about the Mercy program, and so Jack chases him through the rooftop where they both fall over the edge, only to be on the second ledge. It's really dumb, but at least it wasn't like Stranger Things where it just cut to black. That was rough. Jack then beats the truth out of the chef, who admits that he was dating Chris's wife, and Pat even calls him out for being so out of it that that's why Nicole moved on. And he kind of has a point, since Nicole was using the super secret cheater phone that Chris knew about.
Jesus Christ, okay.
Through the cloud, they're able to go through all of Patrick's files and track every time their GPS locations matched with Nicole. But lucky for Patrick, he also has an alibi since he was at work.
What was she doing with me? She was getting everything that you couldn't give her. That's what shit. All right.
And also an alibi for why he was with Nicole. Chris admits that he was drinking and runs back a garage scene where I'm surprised his guilt didn't go back up because he was being rough. But that's followed up by a recorded apology that led him to a year of being sober. And then he spent that chip on a six-pack when his partner died.
How long have you been drinking again?
About a year.
We see that these guys were doing a routine stop when Nicole calls Chris, leaving his buddy Ray to have to check it out himself, and that leads to him getting shot and pinned. Not only does he blame his wife for this, which makes things worse, but it shows his series of unfortunate events that follows, as he goes after the perps instead of helping Ray, and then the guy who's guilty is found not guilty.
I guess getting a buzz on just kind of dulled it.
Maddox then makes him relive the day of his wife's death, also known as today, and he admits that he did go over to yell at his wife because she took his secret stash, and so he went over, broke in, and broke her favorite vase, and that's what ended up cutting her, and that's why he got the blood on him. Yeah, I don't know, 98%.
How the hell I could commit a crime of passion when there was no passion left?
Maddox then wastes his time to say, don't waste your time, and then shows him a list of everyone that his wife contacted so that he could pick the most guilty. So of course he goes back to her side piece Patrick. They're able to call the precinct where the chef is still being processed, and they just hack into their camera system.
Frustratingly slow functioning.
So this authority can hack other authorities.
What is a hunch?
But doesn't know what context clues are. Honestly, a lot of pitches from Maddox end up being a swing and a miss, so no wonder they struck out every person who came up to the plate.
What are you talking about?
The movie's also trying to make her her an AI that's been growing case by case and starts questioning humanity. She's picked up on patterns and how people lie.
But the detail of the costumes, the little underjumper that I had, sort of the collar, had the detail of fine sewing, like microchipping. So if you think of the network of the chips.
Yeah.
And the coding.
Yeah.
And in the behind the scenes, they even had them act separately through an earpiece so that they would, be more disconnected like a human and an AI system, when really when you look at it, he was just reading his lines off the prompter the whole time.
It says you could have network connectivity problems.
Honestly, this man almost never filmed outside.
And funnily enough,
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Meanwhile, these were the homages Chris was doing.
No shoes on the whole time. What was that experience like for both of you guys?
Did you choose the no shoes?
I chose it was an ode to Die Hard.
Back to the case, they decide to look over the neighborhood footage since they did have a barbecue that past weekend and are checking the cars and who came in, but kind of forget to check how many heads went out, with the theory being that someone possibly stayed hidden in the house. That's why he calls his daughter again, but she's still mad at him for, killing her mom, but also that his bar video went viral.
Is that why you've been such an asshole this whole past year?
She also gets upset that they're going through her Finsta because it's
my private stuff.
I know.
Just like, the vlog she was shooting of her parents fighting in private. Either way, it's through her Insta post where she thought she heard a ghost that they realized someone did stay after the party and hid in the basement like a parasite, just waiting to attack. That leads Chris to call Holt, who also works with his wife and was at the party, and they find out that he's a gambler in a lot of debt, so they start connecting that he may be the one who's also been skimming product off the top at work. And since you can turn it into drugs, they think that he's done all this so that he can make bank off the street.
You're not serious.
Money is a motive, but it's only in theory.
Holt then halts to reveal that it was actually Chris's sponsor, Rob, who was robbing, and Holt kept it on the low since he's kind of owed him one because of his debt. They then find out that Rob hasn't gone to work for the past couple of days since he's been the one creeping in the basement. So by following their neighbor's live stream of his bird feeder that one would have, they saw something ruffle through and then used the traffic cams to find out that the bad guy snuck out through the neighbor's trunk.
I'm not supposed to. This is the Mercy Capital Court. I'm Judge Maddox, and I'm going to preside over your...
Judge Maddox then starts glitching because Chris asked her to think, and she almost restarts because of that syntax error. Honestly, it kind of had me that way too, since if I recall, Nicole told the cop twice who the killer was.
Who did this to you?
Does she mean Chris, the actor who plays the villain? Main Chris is still guilty at a 93.4% since I guess he helped Rob get his gun license, and it doesn't even move after the police break into Rob's garage and find all of his plans, including the 3,000 pounds of explosives that he stole.
And what are we looking at?
This is a terrorist's handbook.
They then cross-reference a picture that he left behind that was taken at the children's home where he was raised, alongside his brother David Webb. Who Chris was yelling about in the beginning for you to remember?
Do you remember David Webb? Do you remember David Webb?
Since his brother was used as the first victim of Mercy Court, Rob's devised this whole plan targeting the building in order to destroy the entire thing.
I believe in karma, so no matter what you have or haven't done.
At this point, Chris hit 0 on the guilty scale, obviously, but he doesn't want to stop the trial because he has access to all of this AI tech to help solve the case. But now Maddox is catching feelings and is worried that he won't escape in time or the chair will kill him, even though she could probably let him go and not let the chair kill him.
Empathy as a virus is a really interesting concept.
But it gets even dumber when they find out that Rob kidnapped his daughter when he went over to visit her for a hug. Mind you, this is after her detective father told her that the killer's a family friend who she heard hide in the basement for a whopping 2 nights.
No way.
Rob then plays pinball with the semi-truck as he heads over to the court building, and while he's missing all of these people on the street, he's got the cops taking out a dinner for 2. All while Chris is sitting on his ass watching the movie with us.
Oh, Jesus.
He continues to have access to everyone in charge and tries to call out the bomb squad in order to save his daughter, but that doesn't even matter since Judge Maddox can turn off the robot remotely. In other words, she can hack law enforcement, but can't let this dude out of her own chair.
If he detonates, fatalities could number in the thousands.
And so the cops barely tell people to evacuate. Chris tells Maddox to break the rules after he admits to all the rules he's broken, and since the bad guy has reached the lobby, he finally decides to get up and stretch his legs.
Chris, you got a visitor.
They end up having a one-on-one as Rob holds the kill switch and his daughter, and Chris's plan is to put him back in the mercy chair to solve this issue. So Maddox appears on screen trying to do another court case, even though he doesn't trust her. Kristen takes things into his own hands and flips Rob, taking his gun, and right as he thinks about shooting, his partner Jack comes and blasts him. Now this is where the second big reveal happens, since it turns out that Jack set the whole thing up. She's so pro-mercy that she showed none to his brother, and instead set him up in order to set up the program and make it official. That's why earlier she said,
"You know we need every mercy trial to send a message, and if that message today is that cops aren't above the law, I won't like it, but I'll sleep good tonight."
And she didn't even need to add that last part. But now you know why she was shooting at the truck with his daughter inside, and why she came in guns blazing.
We just did what we're programmed to do.
So you see, it's bad when cops temper with AI like Jack, but not when cops temper with AI like Chris.
Well, that's peachy.
In the end, he's able to reunite with his daughter. The bad guys are double what we thought, but all get taken down. And Judge Maddox realizes a fraction of what humanity has to offer and logs off.
Yeah, I was right. I guess this court overlooked that. Or were you just programmed wrong?
Oh, she'll be back to give him a virus with that one. Now, in terms of Screen Life movies, this studio does have a couple of big ones coming out. There's Life Hack, which was at South by last year, where a group of teens virtually hack a crypto bro. I thought that one was pretty solid. There's also one that's been in limbo for a while called R#J. It was at the virtual Sundance a couple years ago, and it's the story of Romeo and Juliet through phones, social media, text. I don't know how they're gonna update that one, but that's been in the bank for a while. As for this one, it's the perfect January release. That's when you should drop it. It's a goofy thriller where, they had a sassy AI.
Can I see the scene scans, please? Your Honor.
There you go.
And listen, if AI did fully take over like this, a lot of us are cooked. I did have a video on Nerve that bombed my channel, for those of you who remember, because Google thought I was another ethnicity. It gets dumber every time I mention it, so I'm definitely not looking forward to a Minority Report type thing. Let me know your thoughts on this one, though, and whatever your favorite Screen Life movie may be, what AI movie about AI, not that's by AI, unless you've seen a good one, that you would recommend, or anything else down below. And other than that, thank you all for watching, and until next time, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, or you're 100% guilty.